Hi my loves, welcome or welcome back to another great tutorial. In today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make this pretty summer, although summer is almost over, but this pretty tube top with the floral details and mesh pattern. My video coverage could not cover every inch of it, but I'm sure you could see it in the thumbnail or the video I must have put before this. So it has a tie at the neck portion, and the back also has a lace, and I'll be walking you through every detail on how to make this top. It's quite easy to make, so without further ado, let's get into the materials you need to make one for yourself. For the materials you'll be needing for this video, you would need yarn. I used this yeye regular. I doubled my strand, which means I used 2 strands at a time because it's really lightweight. And I also used a 4.0mm hook. Now feel free to use whatever yarn and hook in your region, but I'd advise a lightweight one because the top is not supposed to be chunky like the sweater I'm wearing. You would also be needing a 3.5mm for the flower. I made it in a 3.5mm hook. You'd need your tape measure to take your measurements because we're making it to measure, so you can make one for yourself and for others. You need your scissors. You also need darning needles. I used the plastic one and I also used the metal one for different reasons, but it's fine if you have just one. And you'd need stitch markers, very important. Also, you would be needing a tiny piece of bead like we've got here. This is not essential, it's not compulsory, but if you have it, it really does pop. I also used some beads as toppers for the straps, both on the neck and the lace back. These are not compulsory, but it makes your work really beautiful. So if you have all that or some of that, let's get straight into the video. So the measurements you need to make this top is basic body measurements. You just need your bust, and when you have your bust measurement, I'll tell you how to alternate it because we are not actually using the exact bust measurement. So I will tell you how to make your size or what to subtract. But that being said, you take your bust measurement. The one I'm making this top in a size medium, and the bust measurement I'm using is 35. So we would want to chain or make a starting chain that is about our bust measurement minus 7 inches. So 35 minus 7 is about 28 inches, and I would make a chain that is 28 inches or stretches to 28 inches. The reason we subtract 7 is because of the corset back portion. So you want something to actually corset. You don't want it to cover your entire bust region, and that's why we're subtracting 7. So make a chain that is your bust measurement subtracted by 7, or any number you want really that is comfortable for you. If you want more coverage, then less subtraction. If you want less coverage, more subtraction. So to start, I'll make a slip knot, and I'm using my 4.0mm all through. I only use the 3.5 for the flower. After making a slip knot, you make chains. To make a chain in crochet, you yarn over, pull through. That's one chain, and you repeat this till you have a chain that is as long as the measurement we just discussed. So I'll do mine till I have a chain that is about 28 inches. I'm back with my chains, and I did about 91 chains. I want to quickly measure that out for you guys to see. This is the start of my chain, and all the way down it measures 27, but it can be topped to 28, which is perfect because this would also stretch when we work some rows of single crochet on it. So this is good. Now that you have the measurements you need, what you're going to do is make single crochet in every stitch. I have a tutorial on how to make the single crochet stitch. I would leave that linked in the description. Check it out if you're an absolute beginner. It is slower and you'll understand better. But if you could catch up, just follow this. You chain one extra to bring us to the height of the stitch, and then in the second chain from your hook, you insert your hook, pull through. You have two loops on your hook and you pull through the two loops, and that's a single crochet stitch. You'd repeat this all through till the end of your chain. So guys, I'm back at the beginning and this is what I've made so far. I apologize that this is in black. I kind of have no option, but I'm trying my best to explain as much as I can so you would understand. So if you follow my explanation, the color would not be a hindrance. I'm just left with one more single crochet to make in the last chain, and I'll just insert my hook, pull through, pull through. So that way I've made single crochet in every chain. To get onto the next row and consequent rows, because I won't take you guys through everything, it's basically just a repeat. You chain one, you turn your work, and in the first stitch, you could see it, you would make a single crochet stitch. Now what you want to do to this stitch so you don't miss it when you come back around is that you want to place a stitch marker. So I have one here. I'll just place it, especially beginners. It's kind of hard to see when coming back around, and if you skip it, your work does not look straight, it kind of looks skewed. You don't want that. After we do this, we could go ahead and make one single crochet in every single stitch up until the end, just the same way you did the single crochet for the first row. You do it again. This is your last stitch, so it's the first stitch in the first row. You could also place a stitch marker here so you don't miss it. Once you have that done, you would have been done with row 2. You keep making rows and rows till you get the height of your bust. So you want to measure how high your bust is. Let's say from the top of your cleavage down to under your bust, as after your nipple under your bust. Mine, or the one I'm making, measures about 5.5 inch. So I would make rows and rows till I get 5.5 inch, and I'll come back and show you guys. One thing I also want to suggest is that you might want to make a bit longer than that, simply because we would ruche it. So we would be scrunching the middle of the tube top, and this would reduce the height a tiny incy bit. So you might want to make maybe half. If the measurement is 5.5, you might want to make it for 6 inches, just adding half inch to it. So let's do this and get back, and I'll show you guys how to proceed from there. So guys, I'm back and this is what I have. It looks pretty neat. So let's take few measurements so you can see. Height, like I've said, measures about 5 inch, but it does stretch. And I'll still add one more row. You see that shortly. That's why I left it at this 5.2 inch ish. And the width that was measuring 27, right, without stretch, now measures about 24 without stretch. But if I tug on this, it goes all the way to 28, like we've said. When this is wrapped around your body and the corset is being strapped, it's going to measure even, it's going to stretch even wider. That's why I don't even push it with the width. So far as covering my bust side, I'm good. So to move on now, we're going to do the corset straps, and it's pretty easy. I'll be showing you guys how to do it. I've been using this crochet ring lately. I figured like I've been crocheting a lot, so I get crazy and burn here. Like there's just this part of my finger that has a very deep line showing where the crochet strands have been passing, the yarn strands, and it kind of hurts real bad. So I've had this ring ever since I started crocheting. It came in the kit I bought, but I never fancied using it. I tried it once or twice, but tossed it. I went to look for it, like I literally searched for it to use it because I was having none of that painful yarn bonds again. And it's been working quite fine, but I'm looking to order more from maybe an online store. I just haven't seen one. So if you have any recommendations on where I could get these, I know there are fancy ones. If you have any recommendations, I would really appreciate it. Drop it in the comment section below. Also, if you have any questions so far, please drop them in the comment section below. I'm always happy to answer your questions. Let me zoom in a bit. So now we're going to the corset strap. I've chained one, and like I've said, it's pretty easy. You could see our rows. This is our last row, this the row before, this the third row before, like so. So what you want to do is make 2 single crochets in the next 2 rows. This is one. In the next one you make the second one, 2, and then you chain 3 and skip 3 rows. So you skip 1, 2, 3, and in this you make a single crochet. In the next you make a single crochet. So you see we have one loop here, one hole, one hoop, whatever. So you just keep repeating this pattern. Chain 3, skip 3, 2 single crochets, chain 3, skip 3, 2 single crochets, chain 3, skip 1, 2, 3, and we're left with the last 2. Mine happens to be perfect, so I've done the last 2, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 corset holes, which is good for me. To now make the holes or the whole corset situation stronger, you have to go back on it, and I will chain 1, turn my work, then make a single crochet in every previous single crochet. So we ended with 2 single crochet. I'll make 1 here and the second one, and in the chain 3 spaces I'll just go ahead and put 2 single crochets. If yours is really tight, you might want to make 3 single crochet to symbolize the 3 chains that are there, but mine is pretty okay like this. If I put 3, it might look like a lot. That's why I just put 2, and you repeat this all through till you get to the top, and I'll see you back there. Back at the top, you want to make your last single crochet, and now we're facing here. You could do one of 2 things. You could finish this after making your last single crochet, chain 1, cut your yarn, or you could make a single crochet row. This would add to the height of our tube top already, all the way till you get to this other side, so you could work this corset. And guess what option I chose? Of course, the high way. So yeah, I would just chain 1 and turn my work towards like this side, make 1 single crochet in both, 1 in the last row of the corset, 1 in the first row of the corset, and now I'm back working on the stitch itself. So I'll just put 1 single crochet in every stitch, like so, till I get all the way till I get here. When I get here, I'll repeat the corset loops, the 2 rows of it, and when I'm done with that, I'll come back and show you guys what I've got. You guys, I am back and done with the second corset loop on the other side. So this is the side I just did. This was the first side you saw me do on camera, and now that we have this, it's time to work the mesh part. That's the interesting part of this top. Before working the mesh though, I want you to, there's this part of the mesh that's like reducing. So I want you to decide which side you want it to be, either on the right or on the left. So you could just place this tube top on your body, and if you want it to be on this side, you just take a stitch marker and put it on this side, so you always remember, because this is where all our decreases would be. That being said, it's time to work. So from where you stop, you chain one, and to make the mesh, we're making it in a stitch that is not the single crochet stitch. So for the sake of beginners, I would still teach that stitch. I don't have a designated tutorial on my YouTube for the treble crochet stitch, but there are a lot of tutorials out there. So just look for one if you really don't understand the stitch. But just like we chain one to start a new row for the single crochet, for the treble crochet you chain 5. That's because it's a very high stitch. To start the treble crochet, we'll chain 5. This is 5. And because it's mesh meaning we're skipping 2, we're making a mesh stitch. So to suffice for the 2 we'll skip, we'll chain an extra 2. So that's chain 7. And to make a treble crochet, you yarn over twice, skip 2. In the third space, you make a treble by inserting your hook, pulling through. You would have 4 loops on your hook. You yarn over, you pull through 2, you pull through 2, you pull through 2, and this is a treble crochet stitch. This is wobbly because the chains made this first one, but moving forward, you just chain 2, skip 2, yarn over twice. In the third space, make a treble, chain 2, skip 2, third space, treble, chain 2, skip 2, treble in the third, and you just keep repeating this pattern, this mesh pattern, up until the very end. That's this point. You keep chaining 2, skipping 2, making a treble crochet in the third, and I'll meet you guys when you're there. Remember, we've marked out where we want our decreases to be, which is this side. Okay, so I'm at my very last space. After chaining 2, skip 2, I'll just make 1 treble crochet at the end, and this is the side I want to decrease on, so that is perfect for me. I would chain 1 to get to row 2 of the mesh. This is what my mesh looks like so far. So beautiful. This is the beginning and this is where we are at. So after chaining 1, you turn your work, and we're going to eliminate 3 boxes for row 2. So we would slip stitch in this first treble crochet. To slip stitch, you insert your hook, pull through 2 loops on your hook like you want to make a single crochet, but you just pull it through so it's sliding all the way, and you just slip stitch in the 2 chains in between these boxes. So this is 1 box eliminated. Two boxes eliminated, and the last one, 3 boxes eliminated. So because we've slip stitched this way, we wouldn't have to work on these boxes again. We're trying to decrease rapidly. That's the whole essence of it. So when we're on our stitch that represents the third box, this is the 4th treble crochet, but 3 boxes. You would now chain 7 to start row 2. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you make treble crochet in every previous treble crochet, chaining 2 in between to make the mesh pattern, and you just keep up that way. Chain 2, treble crochet. I would take this out because it's making noise, and we already know where our decrease is from this box elimination that we've done, and I'll just keep up working the mesh pattern till the end. I'll show you guys how I work the end and flip to work row 3. So we're approaching the last stitch, and this is the second to the last. I would make a treble I'll chain 2, and I just wanted to show you guys this because for the last one it was chains not stitches. So what you do is skip 2. The skip 2 is what counts as the chain in between. So on the top of the 5th chain you make your treble crochet. So the 5 chains is the treble crochet, skip 2 is the chain in between. And this is what 2 rows is looking like so far. I will chain 5 plus 2, make my row as usual back, all the way back, and when I'm about to get here I'll come and show you guys how to decrease. So in this pattern we decrease by eliminating boxes and actual decreases. I'll show you guys how to do an actual decrease on row 3. So work your pattern all the way back till you get here. So I've worked all the way back to our decrease side, and I want to show you guys how to decrease, not the box elimination style. So after chain 2, I'll make a treble crochet in this space, and now I have 1 treble crochet left and then these chains. So I will chain 2, skip this, I won't work in this, and I'll just come straight, skip 2 chains and make my last treble crochet on the last treble crochet. So this way I have eliminated this treble crochet. And when I say decrease, this is what I mean. When I say box elimination, what we did before we started row 2 of the mesh, it's what I mean. So that being said, for row 3, for row 4 we would repeat the decrease. So we would chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5. These are treble crochet, then 2 extra to turn, flip our work. But now working this way we won't make a stitch here. This is supposed to be our first stitch, but we won't make it, and we'll go to the next one, make a treble crochet there. So that way we've decreased this stitch, and we'll keep moving forward by making 1 treble crochet in every stitch and remembering to chain 2 in between to make the mesh pattern. I just want to show you guys what it's looking like now. So here we eliminated boxes, here we decreased, here we decreased. So I will do this for row 4. I will make treble all the way down, then row 5 I would make treble all the way back up, no decreases this time. So we'll actually put a treble crochet everywhere there's supposed to be a treble crochet. And then for row 6 I would eliminate 4 boxes like we did here. I'll come back and show you guys how to do row 6. But for row 4, just go all the way back down. Row 5, come all the way back up, no decreases. Row 6, I'll meet you guys. I'm back, guys. For row 6 we are eliminating 4 boxes. So like we did in the other row where we eliminated boxes, you chain 1, flip your work, and you just slip stitch your way through the boxes you're eliminating. So this is the first box eliminated, and you do that for the remaining 3. So here we are, we've eliminated this 1 2 3 4 box, and we would now make treble crochet mesh as normal by chaining 5 plus 2 and treble crochet in the next, chain 2, treble crochet in the next stitch. And here you go, this is our eliminated boxes. We would repeat the normal mesh pattern to the end, and that's it for row 6. For row 7 and 8 we would decrease like we did here and here. Then for row 9 we would not decrease like we did in row 5. And then for row 10 we would eliminate 5 boxes. So I'll come back and show you guys what we have by row 10. If you have any questions or you're not clear, please let me know in the comments and I will do well to answer them. I'm back, and this is what we're looking like. So we decreased in this and this, 7 8 9 we did not decrease, and now for 10 we would slip stitch 5 boxes like I said. So we'd slip stitch all the way 1 2 3 4 5, and when I get here I will start working normal treble stitch mesh till the very end. And once I'm done with row 10, I would start back to work row 11, but for row 11 I will be decreasing twice, and I'll come back and show you guys how to do that. So after eliminating 5 boxes, we worked the rest of row 10. For row 11, I'm on my way back to the end, but I have 4 stitches left. And what I mean by decrease twice in row 11 is that I would chain 2, but instead of going to the next, I will skip this one and go to this one. So just like we would normally decrease, but this time I'm not at the end before decreasing. And then I will chain 2. Instead of going to this place, I'll go to the last stitch. So that's the 5th chain on our chain 7. And this way, if you look, we've decreased here and here. So that's what I mean by decreasing twice. For row 12 now, I would decrease again, but just once. So like we normally would do, we will chain 7, 6, 7, turn our work, skip this one. Instead of making a treble here, we'll go to the next and make our treble, and we'll just work like normal. Keep making treble till the end. But when coming back for row 13, I would do the same thing I did in row 11, that's decrease twice. After doing that, we did 11 decrease twice, 12 decrease once, 13 will decrease twice, 14 will decrease once, 15 we will decrease twice, and then for 16 I will tell you guys what to do. So I'll meet you guys back at 16. Back at 16, and after decreasing once, I want to tell you guys one more thing I did. So all this while we marked out a side where we'll be decreasing, and that's the only side we've been decreasing on. For the other side, we've been keeping it straight, no decreases. But from row 16, I would start decreasing on the other side. We just have few boxes, so it's no big deal. You just want to work up until you have 2 stitches left, and you skip this one and make your last stitch here, just like we're doing on this side, but you decrease here and decrease here. And once you do that, that's 16. For 17, you decrease only at the real decrease side, then 18 you decrease there again, and I'll come and meet you guys back at 18. Also, I have to say something. I didn't tell you guys how many boxes I started with. So all this decrease here, don't decrease here, decrease twice, skip boxes, it might make you end up with less or more boxes, because to start with, the amount of stitches you have here is going to be different from mine. So I'll just tell you guys the rule of thumb, or how you should decrease. Like I've said, number 1, mark out where you want to decrease. Mine was this side, and my major decreases have been on this side so far. Number 2, the top is structured in such a way that there are these points of sharp decrease. There's 1, that's the very first one where we skipped 3 boxes. There's 2, the second one where we skipped 4 boxes, and there's 3, the third one where we skipped 5 boxes. So whatever amount of mesh you have, if you have less than I do or more than I do, you want to make sure you have these 3 points of sharp decreases. The first one is immediately after the very first row, is like not visible, because when this turns to the back you wouldn't know, but these two points would show at the front of your top. They give this beautiful cascade, and you want to have that. Then after these, you're free to decrease as rapidly or slowly as you want. I did mine in such a way that the very last decrease would stop below like my waist, so that's just at the top of my hips. If you're putting on denim, where your denim pocket would be. But if you want this tail end to linger on for longer, you decrease slowly. If you want yours to be shorter, that's if you want it above your waist, you decrease more rapidly. So when we're decreasing twice on one row and once on the other row, you'll be decreasing twice on both rows. You could also be decreasing on this other side from the get-go, and then you have just this pencil thing that tapers up onto here. I say all this to say I've done mine in this way because that's how I want mine structured. Once you get these 2 points of sharp decrease that gives that cascade, how you maneuver this is left to you. I hope this was not long talk. I hope you understand. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I will do well to answer. And yeah, we'll just make a decrease at the end for this row. I think this is row 16. Yeah, 17 we do not make a decrease here, but we'll make a decrease here. That's the major decrease side. 18 will make a decrease in both, or we'll see how it goes, how many, based on how many is left. I'll come and show you guys 18, row 18, but I'll do 16 and 17 off camera. So I've done 16 and 17 off camera. 16 I decreased here, you can see that. 17 I decreased just here. So for 18 we're supposed to decrease in both sides. After chaining 7, I'll skip this one, make here, chain 2 now, we'll skip this one, and then skip 2 chains, make our treble crochet on the top of the 5th chain. So that leaves us with just 2 boxes. And for 19, which is my final row, I will chain 7, turn, skip the one in the middle, and just make 1 on the top of the 5th chain. So this is the end, this is the ultimate goal, to have just 1 box left. And that's what we have now. Now that I have 19 rows, I will chain 1 and cut this off. Now we want to clean up this and make it look like quite good. So I want you to attach your yarn to whatever is your front side. I've picked this to be my front side, so I would attach my yarn here and make single crochets all the way down to this point in row 19, then all the way back up to the side where we are not decreasing as much, to this point on the corset loop here. So to do that, you make a slip knot, you place your hook here on the single crochet before the very first row of mesh, chain 1, and then in this row of mesh you would make, in every treble crochet or space, you could make 3 or 4 single crochets. It depends on you, but I like to make 4. After making 3, I put the 4th one on the stitch itself. And then in places where we made like eliminated boxes, that's these sharp corners, I like to chain 1 before going into the spaces. So the chain 1 just helps me turn smoothly, glides. So in the space I'll put 2 single crochet. On this treble I'll put 1 single crochet, and I was trying to weave that in, but I think that's enough. I'll keep repeating 2 single crochet in the space, 1 on the stitch, 2 in the space, and then when I get to this place I won't put any on this like stitch that the chain 7 is coming from. I'll just go to the chain 7 now and make 3 single crochet. At the top of it I'll make my 4th one, and for this side where there's no like abrupt corner like here, you just keep making 4 single crochets in every treble crochet space. We've gotten to another point where we eliminated boxes. I will chain 1, then make my 2 single crochets in the space, 1 on the stitch. This is just how I'll keep up. When I get here I would start working on this side. When I get here I'll do the same thing I've been doing on these corners. This is the last of its kind. So when I get here I'll just keep making 4 single crochet in every space till I get to the very last. I'll come and show you what I do here because that's quite unique. Here in row 19 And what I want to do is just make enough single crochets that would turn me to the other side. So we've been putting 4 per space, but because this space is kind of like a circle, I would put about 10. So that's the third one. 4, 10. Now I'm seeing 10 is not even enough. So I've flipped my work. I've at least changed my orientation. So I think 2 more would do. 11 and 12. So you just want to put enough that would turn you to the other side of the work. And when at the other side, you keep making 4 single crochets per treble crochet row. This side is pretty straightforward because there was not a lot of decreases on this side, right? And you do this up until this point, like I've said. You also want to ensure that your single crochets are not overly tight so your work does not scrunch up. It's just supposed to make it pretty neat and give it like the finish vibe, but it's not supposed to be so tight. Guys, I'm back at the top and I will just slip stitch once and twice here, chain 1 and cut off your yarn. You're done with the bottom of this. What's left is the flower and just the design basically.